I have one question for you.
And what's that?
Are you ready to launch into another episode of Discography Draft?
Absolutely, my man. It's been a long time.
And it has, and I'm looking to redeem myself. Let's go! And welcome back, everybody, to the best music podcast on all sides of planet Earth. And the way that we measure that distinction is we travel to Ukraine, we go to Uganda, but we take the long way around. This podcast is called Hey Listen to This. And it is hosted by two dashingly good-looking men who share the same middle name. I'm the one. I'm the only. I'm the one who is finding himself to actually truly be a Boston Bruins fan, because in his couple fantasy hockey league he has David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, and now Morgan Geeky on his team. Go Bruins, go Ryan James Kearns.
And I am the one, the only, I think you have the wrong black and gold team there, Mr. Kearns, Matthew James Durzik. And usually this is the part where I would say, for those of you who haven't listened before, what it is that we do. But this week we're doing something slightly different. It's something we've done in the past before, but it is something we're doing in case we have some things we got to catch up on, or things get in the way, life gets in the way, or life being what it is. Sometimes you just gotta do things a little differently. So this week we are doing another discography draft, and for those who don't know how a discography draft works, Ryan, I will throw it to you for the rules and regulations of this episode.
So this concept came to be throughout my brain, essentially. Like we did a crash test run of it, I would say like over a year now, maybe a year and a half ago, whenever we did our first episode of Discog Draft with The Who. And essentially the nuts and bolts of it is me and Matt take turns picking from a certain, artist, band, or like whatever criteria of a selection of albums, whether it be a discography or past distinctions of a group of albums, and then once we get done filling out our teams, for lack of a better term there, we go to allmusic.com and see which team has the highest rating. The winner of that discography draft gets 1, bragging rights, and 2, the ability to pick the next direction that we go in with the next discography draft. And the loser, even though they don't have the advantage of picking what criteria that we're choosing these albums from, they get the ability to go first in terms of choosing said albums. So that may have come across a little bit wordy, but I feel like that covers everything.
Yeah, I think it does cover everything. And I believe the last time we did one was the Grammy for Album of the Year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, indeed, and true to form, you kicked my ass again. So you get the chance to choose what artists we're exploring the discography from, or if you're going to throw a wild card in there, the choice is yours, man.
I did have a wild card planned, but I think because this is the first one we've done in a while, I'm feeling a little bit on the golf side of things, something a little low scoring, a little defense oriented, very late 90s, early 2000s New Jersey Devils, if you will. So I'm picking a band who has a discography of only 10 albums, so it's going to be 5 aside, and not only that, if we stumble across a 5 out of 5 tonight, I will be deeply shocked. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading north of the border, and we are checking out the one, the only, the band that has forever ruined rock music if you listen to any critic whatsoever, and that band is Nickelback.
Oh man! Like as soon as you were describing, hey, we're heading north of the border for a band that has ruined rock. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me just start looking up Nickelback albums, man. Oh man, let's go. Like I feel like whoever actually finds a 5 out of 5 album out of their discography should win. Just win. Just
Right.
It's the default trump card.
Yeah. I'm okay with that rule because I have a distinct feeling we're not going to find any of them. We might get lucky and find a 4, maybe a 3.5, but if they're, I'd be very, very shocked. But then again, it's 2025, nothing shocking anymore.
Yeah. So while this is going up, and I'm listening to all the albums. Why don't you tell the listeners if they're not aware of what a Nickelback is? Well, tell them what a Nickelback is, man.
So, a Nickelback is a band that was formed in Canada. They are a rock band, and they started in the mid-90s with a lineup that featured the likes of Chad Kroeger on lead vocals and lead guitar, occasionally rhythm guitar as well, Ryan Peake on rhythm and lead guitar and backing vocals, Mike Kroeger on bass and occasional backing vocals, and the original lineup featured on drums Brandon Kroeger. Since then, they have switched out to Mitch Gundon in 1997, Ryan Vikadal in 1998, until their current drummer, Daniel Adair, in 2005. And some of you may be listening to that going, excuse me, Nickelback was a band of the 90s? Technically speaking, yes. And of the 10 albums we are talking about today, 2 of them were released in the 1990s, that being Curb and The State. So that is what they're doing. And why do I say they've ruined rock and roll? Well, they've never been a critical darling. They've been pretty much considered to be the buddiest band of butt rock throughout the late 90s, early 2000s new metal phase. So they've always been seen as sort of this thorn in the side of good, upbeat rock and roll. But I don't know, man. Personally, I've never hated Nickelback. I've never loved them either. To me, they are very much a band. A band with a few good bangers and a bunch of songs that sound slightly off-center from that.
I feel like the biggest thing that that has just like drawn so much criticism to Nickelback themselves, before we kick it off with my first pick here, is the fact that, I don't know, like, it's their influence more than anything. Because, like, you think of, like, bands like AC/DC. They legitimately did the same thing album after album after album. And they're, like, essentially going to be, like, if they're not already in, they're going to be first ballot Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. Like, and they have multiple standard albums. And nobody really shits on AC/DC like they do on poor Nickelback. I take it or leave it. Like, I've went through my Nickelback phase, and there's a handful of like songs that I can dig. And if it's on, it's on. I'm never like wanting to throw up in my mouth if Nickelback ever comes on. I feel like those people who hate Nickelback that passionately, they might have like their reasons, but for me, it's like when people freak out with pineapple on pizza. I'm like, okay, I know it's your opinion. I feel like you're just trying to be cool. You might want to calm down on the attitude.
Yeah. You could very simply order a pizza without pineapple on it, or you could simply listen to a band that is not Nickelback. You have several options in that department. Yeah, I feel like that is one of the... I'm in agreement with you that the people who hate Nickelback just for the sake of hatred, it's not healthy, man. It just don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like, not to sound like that hippy-dippy kind of person, but, like, dude, there's enough stuff going on in the world where, like, maybe just cut Nickelback some slack. You can have your opinion about not liking them, but don't call them the worst thing that has ever happened to music, because, I mean, I have my opinions about that as well, so.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, and not to mention, too, I feel like in this era of trying to top everything and trying to find, that perfect high mark of human existence. I feel like the opposite has come true. Like, everyone says, oh, Nickelback's the worst band ever. And then Imagine Dragons comes along. Oh, Imagine Dragons is the worst band ever. Then Who Else Knows comes along. And it's just like, do we really have to keep pushing that boundary so far down to the point where, hatred breeds hatred the same way that love breeds love. But anyways, enough of the philosophical talk. Let's talk about Nickelback some more, and specifically the discography draft that we are about to encounter. And as you mentioned the rules, Ryan, since I won, I picked the band, therefore you get first overall pick.
All right, so for the first overall pick, I felt like there's only one right choice for the first overall pick, and that is gonna be their album All the Right Reasons, released in 2005. The only, Nickelback album that I've listened to, multiple times, head to toe, has, a lot of their big songs off of it. Like, you get, Rockstar, Saved Me, and I think Animals is on there, too. So, pretty good album, in my humble opinion. And an easy number one for me to pick.
That was going to be my number one selection as well. I don't blame you at all for picking that. And not to mention, it also has the eternal photograph on there as well. My first overall pick, I'm going to take the other safe bet, the other quote-unquote big one, or at least the biggest one I can think of, and that is from 2001, and their album Silver Side Up. It is the one with How You Remind Me on it, and that's probably the only song you know unless you are a true Nickelback fan.
Oh, man. Okay, so for my next pick, Silver Side Up was going to be my next pick as well, so probably the next obvious pick there. So I'm going to go right in between there, though, with my next pick, with choosing their 2003 album, The Long Road, featuring their big single Someday and some other songs that made it on their stuff. I feel like this era of Nickelback is probably the safest to choose from in this draft.
Yes, and in that vein, I will continue down that road and go with their next album after All the Right Reasons, which is 2008's Dark Horse, as my second pick.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go newer though. Well, not newer, older, and I'm gonna choose their 1998 album, The State.
All right, and me, I'm gonna go in the other direction because I'm very curious to see which one this got, and I'm gonna go with No Fixed Address from 2014.
Okay, and for me, I'm gonna, just gonna keep it on here, going older, man. I'm gonna go with their first album, Curb, released in 1996.
All right, so you have both the 90s wrapped up. Let's see. So I got a few options left here. I'm just out of curiosity, much like No Fixed Address, I'm gonna go with their newest album, which is Get Rollin' from 2022.
Cool. And then for my last selection, I am gonna go with their 2017 album, Feed the Machine.
And that leaves me with the final selection, which is 2011's Here and Now. So, just like that, 10 albums up, 10 albums down. And time to find out who math favors in this one.
Oh man. So yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about my selection here, because my overall strategy was to go with the most well-known stuff first, and then figured, well, people started hating on Nickelback as they got more popular, so let me go with the earlier stuff, which was not as well known, and play some defense that way. And then when it came to following that mentality, but picking up where you were at with your selections, I decided to play some reverse psychology with you, because as I was picking the older albums, you were picking the newer albums, but you skipped over your last selection in this draft being Here and Now, if you were following that kind of like mentality. I don't know what your mentality was. And I figured like you might know what's in that album and the critical reception that that album got. So that's why I went with Feed the Machine as my last selection.
Full disclosure, the only one I have the only two Nickelback albums that I have really any inkling of are one of your picks and one of mine, yours being All the Right Reasons because I listened to that album myself. And for me, No Fixed Address because one of my favorite music reviewers, Tom the Shadows, did a Train Records on that episode. So I'm risking things a little bit by picking that as one of my draft picks, but I stand by my selections.
All right, so going in reverse snake order here, beginning with your last selection, Here and Now. Looking it up on allmusic.com, you are starting out with a 3.5.
Wow. All right. Not bad, not bad. I will take that considering the source material.
So Feed the Machine is next on the docket here. Okay. And that got a 3 out of 5.
Okay. All right, so far, Nickelback showing some pretty solid numbers.
Some pretty average numbers. Okay, so Get Rolling is the next selection, and that was out of your camp here. And first of all, that album cover is a choice. And the choice that AllMusic gave it in terms of a rating was another 3.5 out of 5.
Wow. Okay. All right. Solid. You know, this is going to be funny because I have a sinking suspicion that these bottom picks might be the top ones in a sense, numbers-wise. But, again, I'm getting ahead of myself.
So Curb was the next selection out of my camp, and that got another 3 out of 5. So I feel like we're following a pattern here. It would be funny if that was
a little bit
if that remained true for the whole course here, but we'll see.
A little bit. We shall see.
All right, so for the next one, No Fixed Address was yours, coming out of your camp, and that got another 3.5 out of 5.
Oh my goodness!
All right, all right. So the state. Ooh, that got a 2 out of 5. Well, okay. Well,
oh
yeah, the first stinker there. Okay. All right, so out of your camp. We have Dark Horse coming up next. Not to be confused with the Katy Perry song. Yeah. So Dark Horse got a 1.5 out of 5.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
See, this is the golf I was talking about. This is the low scoring affair that I was expecting from this draft.
All right. So the Long Road got a 2 out of 5. Okay. All right. Now we have our first picks here. So, Silver Side Up is your first pick, and that got a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
All right.
So you have a chance.
Let's see.
You have a chance.
All the Right Reasons. Did I pick it for all the right reasons? I did not. I got a 2 out of 5. Oh man, that bites. I mean, for those of you who can probably math at home, you probably can't figure out that who won. But for the sake of showmanship here, I will reveal my score first, and then I will let Matt. I will tell Matt his score as well. So. With my 5 albums, I got a score of 12 out of a possible 25, so that's depressing. Also, Nickelback, so we discovered that none of their albums had a 5 out of 5, so that's fun.
Shocker.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of surprised that All the Right Reasons got a 2 out of 5.
I am a little too like that one. That one's got enough material on it, and I honestly don't hate that album. Again, I know Photograph's kind of a joke, and Saving Me's a little overblown, and Rockstar's a little too ironic. But it to me, Nickelback is the definition of everything's fine as long as you're not paying attention. And even if you are paying attention to a good majority of those songs, they're fine. There's a couple in there that are kind of ugly, but, you know, I don't think it's as bad as a 2.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
3 at least.
So, and then for the sake of completionists, for this episode here, Matthew, you've once again won another round of Discography Draft with a score of 15 out of a possible 25. But Nickelback. So, and
Nickelback.
yeah, your low point was Dark Horse, but it was just a bunch of like 3.5s out of 5 that really did it in. So, oh man,
Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, good old Nickelback. I mean, again, I get it, but at the same time, that's pretty brutal.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you played along at home or if you played along with a friend, let us know, like, you know, how you did, and did you pick the right albums or did you pick the wrong albums? The answer is more than likely yes for both, but I mean, who knows? So, oh man, but. From all of us here at Hey Listen to This, thank you for listening to another episode of Discography Draft, and tune in next week when we will be back at this with another proper review.